Hey guys, this is going to be the 2017 number one, and I'm just going to run through it. I think everybody read it, so let's just take a quick look. It says the declaration of digits class is shown below. You will write a constructor and one method for the digits class. So we'll do the constructor part here, which is part A. We'll do that in this video, and the next video we'll do part B. Okay, so the name of the class is digits, and then we have this constructor, which is digits that takes this value num, which is always going to be greater than or equal to 0. So we have this array list of type integer for digits list. Let's see what part A wants us to do. It says write the constructor for the digits class. The constructor initializes and fills digit list with the digits from the non-negative integer num. The elements in the digit list must be integer objects representing single digits and appear in the same order as the digits in num. Each of the following examples shows the declaration of digit objects and the content as initialized by the constructor. So they have this guy here, and basically what they're doing is they're taking 15704, putting the 4, the 0, the 7, the 5, the 1. Also, if the number was just 0, because num could be greater than or equal to 0, it's just 0. So here first, we want to initialize, the constructor initializes and fills the digit list. So I just wanted to, I guess, a friendly reminder. Typically, we've done this so many times, but typically you would have this private variable, call it, let's say, board. Then you'll have the constructor. You take this guy here, and you make it equal to new int and then some sort of like size or something in there, okay? So we've done that before. Right now we have an array list of type integer, and the array list name is digit list. So we have to pass that through the constructor, okay, so we can initialize it. So let's say we know that the constructor for the digit class is obviously the same name. Let me just make sure it was digits. It is, and int num. Okay, so how do we initialize it? Well, I just showed you. You're gonna do digit list, which is the name of the array list, equals new array list, and then we have the type, which is integer, and then parentheses at the end. And that's how you initialize it. Just want you guys to know that they constantly interchange this. Sometimes it's array list, sometimes it's list. But this will never be anything but array list, okay? So that's fine. So let's do the first part. So we're going to pass through this number here, right? And so if the num, let's just say from example 2, is equal to 0, well, you can just do digit list dot add. Remember that this is an array list. We have dot add, dot set, dot remove, dot get, dot size. So we're gonna add this, and now I know the rubric will say new integer 0, but I just want you guys to know that you don't have to put new integer. If you put just digit, let me put this in a different color. If you put digit list dot add and then just put 0, that would still be good. Integer, double, the entire word with a capital D, double, and string, you don't have to put new in there, okay? So it's called something like auto boxing, unauto boxing, and so on. So you don't have to put that there, but I'm just going to put it there because some people are going to look at the answer key and get confused. But that's, optional. Okay, so if num equals 0, then you're fine. You just add it to the list. Remember that this is an array list. Well, what about 15704? Well, guys, we know when we're talking about numbers, and we know if we want to separate numbers, just like they separated right here, we know that there's two famous operations that we do. We do mod 10, and then we do divided by 10, right? Mod 10 will give us each one of the remainders. Divided by 10 will chop off the remainder. So you have to do mod 10 before you do divided by 10. So we already did it for 0. Now let's do it if the case was 0 that it passed through, let's just say, hey, if it's not 0, but if it's bigger than 0, okay? So this is going to be important. So if it's bigger than 0, you're going to do, so you want to add the 4 to the list, right? So you're going to do digit list dot add, and dot add, there's two dot add methods. One where you just do dot add and it adds it automatically to the end of the list, or where you can put a number and it'll add it at that index. So right now, I'll show you why I'm putting 0 there when we're basically done. New integer, once again, you don't have to do new integer here, it's optional. New integer, next to it should be something, should be a parentheses, and then should be num mod 10, okay? So in this case here, had I run through this, it would say digit list.add at index 0, we're going to add a number that's an integer, and it's going to be the number 4. Great. Now what I'm going to do is after this line, I'm going to say num equals num divided by 10. Or you could just say num, same thing. Num divided by equals 10. Same exact thing, okay? But I prefer this in this case. That's fine. So you're going to do this. What just happened now is num is no longer 15,704. It's 1570, okay? But I need to do this again. And anytime you need to do something, let's say something over and over, just like this, I need to now do it so I can have the 0 next to it, right? And then the 7 next to it. What we want to do is we want to exchange the if for a while, okay? So a while loop will allow you to keep going on and on using the same exact formula. In this case, you know what I mean by formula, num mod 10 and then num divided by 10, okay? So it'll fill this in, you'll put the 4, it'll repeat again, 0, 7, 5, and then 1. After 1 gets added to the beginning, that's why it's at 0, because it keeps adding it in front of it, okay? So this is now becomes 1, it pushes it, becomes 0, and then this becomes 1 and 2, and this becomes 0, and so on. So this 0 puts it in the front. Now, once it gets to 1, it goes 1 divided by 10 is 0, and then it kicks out, okay? So you get this here, and that's how you do part A. So I hope that was helpful. Come back for part B, and yeah.